Road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same. Fin fans up north, fin fans to the south, to the east, and to the west. What's better than this? More of this. Let's talk about it. Yep, before we jumping in on part 2 of Dan the Man Marino, I just want to ask if you guys could subscribe and hit the button or hit the bell, because all that is going to help us out. We have to get a couple milestones to reach before we can get a merch store and a poll option. So if you guys like the content and looking to help the community expand with more Miami Dolphin fans, right? Please subscribe, hit the bell, and I appreciate it. And let's get to it. So, we were talking about, Dan Marino and him being a quarterback starting in today's era and time. I think Marino has prolifically shown that he was a quarterback for decades and was a one-of-his-kind quarterback. He's like one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL. If not he is the greatest quarterback in the NFL. In NFL history for that matter. Now, Brady, Brady is the GOAT now. And, the thing about Brady, though, Brady, has the greatest career in NFL history. And that's no questions about that. Would it have been the same if, Brady played for, the Bengals or Arizona, or Cleveland? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Chances of him being the greatest and playing for those teams, probably not. So we're looking at Dan Marino as being the greatest quarterback in NFL history because of the records and the things that he has accomplished while he was manning the quarterback position for Miami Dolphins. And, it was a different time for Marino. It was a different time for Marino. And his stats stood for 30 years. Marino made it possible for the Bradys, the Peyton Mannings, the Breezes, and all the quarterbacks coming out today, to have the stats that they're having. Marino changed the league from a running league to a passing league. And again, he played in that tough era and on teams that were not as skillfully put together as Brady did, or with Manning. And again, it was if Marino played today, on a team with a good defense and some solid wide receivers, there's no question that team would become a NFL dynasty. And again, Marino held every passing record for over 20 some years. And that was in a less passing league. He's definitely my favorite, pure passing quarterback. And he didn't have a running back. And he's always going to be, Dan the pure passing quarterback. He's Dan the Man. Sure, any great quarterback will be able to help their team, get to a Super Bowl. And Marino did. We did get to the Super Bowl with against the 49ers. We wound up losing, but still we got there. I guess when you think about the quarterback getting to a Super Bowl as well, you think of, okay,
Don't forget to take a look at our gear. Click with the FinFan. You can check out the links below.
That year gave
and also know that your support with this helps our artists, and it also helps what we're doing here
playoff game
with Clicking with the FinFan.
Back in '99.
And the good thing about it all is you also get free shipping with that. So just take a look at the gear that we got. Grab something for you, your booth, significant LEDs, whatever.
And they wound up winning, and that wound up to the Rams going to the Super Bowl and getting a ring. Marino, never threw 5 TD passes, in a playoff game. And, Kurt probably did it twice. But Dan the man, he threw 4 once, and that was enough. And at the same time, it's like what he has done in between all those times triumphs anything that what a ring could equal. Like if a ring equals greatness, then does that make Trent Dilfer better than Dan Marino? I mean, rings are great and but they are not a good standard to judge a great quarterback by, on an individual skill level. And Marino has a ring from the '84 conference championship, and just because of the way he played and the way the game was going, he had 4 TDs and he had 6 INTs, and we're talking about in 3 other championship games too. He had a completion rating of under 50%, an average passer rating of under 60, and he led his offense to an average of only 12 points per game, and you ask yourself, how can a quarterback get champions, get championships, playing like that? Well, you got to look at quarterbacks, in that time too. Some of those guys, some of the teams that they played, had had great defenses. Now our offense was great. Like I say, we definitely ushered in a whole passing era, because when it became Dan and the Marks brother, it was just an aerial attack like no other. And you also need a great defense, and Marino, he played with no running game, okay, and the running game is needed to keep that defense off, to keep that defense honest, and for the most part of Dan's career, he had a few good receivers. Yeah, of course the Marks brothers, and Kevin there at tight end, Keith Jackson, and Keith was only there because of Marino, but at the same time, it's like when you have no running game and you have to have great defenses, all that forms that nucleus around that center of that quarterback, and Dan Marino did phenomenally well for what he did. He also had he played with a horrible offensive line. I mean, he had Dwight Stevens, and Dwight Stevens good, and he had a plethora of other other offensive linemen that that worked really well with Dwight Stevens and protecting Marino as much as they could. And so, all that to say that you just, Marino just really needed that extra help, that extra assistance to, make, a good Miami Dolphin dynasty. Nothing can be understated that Marino had probably the greatest downfield vision of any quarterback also in NFL history. And it's pretty much guaranteed on almost any play that Dan Marino would read that defense, scan the entire field, and find that best possible matchup, and just let it rip, and place that ball right in the money basket there, and we'll get 6 points out of it. I mean, that's how dangerous Dan Marino was, and he did it like at will. Peyton Manning said at one point that it was just not normal, and Marino was definitely a special quarterback. One of the most special quarterbacks that I think we'd ever see. Coming out of the NFL. Just think like in 1984. In only his second year, again, Marino had the greatest ever, of any in quarterback history at shattering, TD records, yardage records. Then, 4 years later, he's still doing it. Even when we had a crappy year at 6-10, and Miami and Dan Marino were still chugging along, and Dan Marino was still pushing the Dolphins, carrying the Dolphins on his shoulders, literally. And it was a time to see a phenomenal quarterback come into the fold like that, and to take over games. And there are a lot of times where defenses did not want to see Marino hit the field again, and so a lot of defenses, a lot of offenses for these teams would drag out the plays just to keep the defenses on the field, because they knew if Marino got back on the field, that could be the end of their lead, because Marino in itself is like that quarterback that was just great, and he in like in 1984, he had a completed even better year that he had in 1984. And, because no quarterback in history could possibly won 6 games on a team as bad as Miami was at that time. And, Marino did that. Marino did that. And tell you, any other quarterback, even from like the Montanas and or even the Bradys. I mean, they would have had to like they would have had to gain like Randall Cunningham legs, or Kyle Murray like legs, and probably have a couple extra arms to do the things Marino did on a bad football team when they went 6-10. And you can't really separate an individual quarterback from the team he plays on, and see the difference between a quarterback who plays on a great team and a quarterback who is great in spite of his team, if you understand what I'm saying. And if you would recognize, if you ever get a chance to like recognize that and understand what I'm saying, you would know that Marino is one of the greatest of all time, by one of the hugest margins you could think of. Why he didn't have more, like I say, he didn't have a running game. The last time the Dolphins had a running back that got the ball over 300 times that year, we had over 1,000 yards running. And you know, we didn't get a defense. We didn't really have a defense. I mean, JJ came in, and you know, we had something of a defense, but we really didn't have a defense during Marino's career. And even like, well, at that time you couldn't even, well, you could jam receivers at that time. Now you can't even jam up receivers, you know, like you used to. And I guess if he played today and was given this quarterback friendly, you know, rules that enable passers to succeed more often these days, you know, it would be great. Marino would probably have like he'd probably have like almost 100 touchdowns, you know, per year or something, if that was the case. I mean, if you look at the first 6 years of Brady's career, you know, his numbers were not better than Marino's. And it's not a matter of coincidence, like when the rules change, like no hitting below the knee or, you know, hitting the head, you know, and no jamming the receivers, you know, 5 yards. And, you know, I guess they call that a defensive receiver rule. A lot of quarterback numbers, you know, would look better, you know. And it doesn't take away from the fact that, you know, Brady is a good quarterback, is an amazing quarterback. You know, it just puts those numbers more into perspective around, you know, Marino being the greatest quarterback in the NFL. And, you know, we're not talking about championships, though. You know, we're just talking about personal stats. You know, pass interferences weren't called as much back then. You know, roughing the passers calls were pretty much like non-existent. I mean, you look at Brady wrong, and you know you're getting called for that or something. You know, so you know Marino was going against all those odds as well. And again, you know, he didn't have a great defense, and it's like Marino deserves that respect that a Super Bowl quarterback that has won gets, in a sense, because Marino is a quarterback of high valor, and he's a one of a kind phenom. Marino is, and you know, I think that if you give Marino a chance to be out there on that field in today's offenses, Marino would blow all these quarterbacks out the water. Even though Marino, again, he wasn't a mobility quarterback, but he would still blow the competition out the water, and he would make defenses pay severely than, you know, what he was able to do at that time, you know, coming out in that era and everything. So, I mean, if it, you know, Miami makes the Super Bowl and we get up ahead, I know they wouldn't do it, but that would be cool if they just let Marino just come out and just like, bam, just throw a strike to like Waddle or, you know, Tyreek Hill or somebody like that, even Gesicki. You know, that would be dope. I mean, hey, you know, coaches have done crazy things. I mean, look at what Pete Carroll did in that Super Bowl against the Patriots. Had Marshawn Lynch right there and decided not to do it and passed it and interception. Game over, right? I don't know. And not, you know, I know that can't happen, but yeah, you know, with Marino coming back on the field to throw, you know, that last strike to whatever team that we're going to be beating in the Super Bowl, but that's a dream. That'd be dope. Anyways, if you guys have any comments, questions, please leave them below. And again, if you will, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, because this is going to help our channel grow and help us reach out there more in the community. We're trying to reach some milestones where we can get some merch shelves added, and also we can get some polls added, some poll functionalities added that will help us out. So we need to do that. We need, I think, about 500 or 1,000 subs for something for that, and our content views and the hours that we have, of course, need to pick up, and we'll keep supplying the content. Just make sure that you get a chance. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell. It helps us out. We all love Miami Dolphins, and even if we don't all love the Miami Dolphins, hey, we all are NFL fans, right? And we're here to support each other. So please, if you get a chance, please do that. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell. In the meantime, love y'all. Deuces. Fin fans up north, Fin fans in the south, to the east, and to the west. What's better than this? More of this. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to take a look at our gear. Clicking with the FinFan. You can check out the links below. And also know that your support with this helps our artists, and it also helps what we're doing here with Clicking with the FinFan. And a good thing about it all is you also get free shipping with that. So just take a look at the gear that we got. Grab something for you, your boo, significant other, your kids. We appreciate it a lot. Thank you.